You're gonna jump in?
Yeah. I can make that.
Wait, you're gonna bang your head right on that rock right there.
Sure.
You gotta jump and like land sideways right there.
Ready?
Do 1, 2, 3. Ready? Go.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my God.
What's up, everybody? It's Jack from Atlantis Water Gardens. Welcome back. San Diego, part 2. This amazing pond build. It is turning out fantastic. If you didn't see part 1, check it out right here. It's worth watching. Hit pause, go watch that, get up to speed, because we've got a lot of stuff that we did on this pond. What we've got left is we're gonna finish the whole wall that's gonna hold up that patio right alongside that shed. I'm at the point now where we've got to start cutting in our boulders that are gonna retain the hill on the backside and then morph into our tall waterfall, which is gonna be having multiple cascades, pooling areas, feeding into the pond. Then we can go ahead and work our way back out this side of the pond. Over on the right side, we're gonna have to finish up our intake area. Water's all gonna be drawn inside here. There'll be a bridge going across, and this is where our pumps will be housed, pulling all that water this way. One of the pumps will be feeding our constructive wetland filter. That's going right up here. We've got a waterfall that started on this side that's gonna be fed by that constructive wetland filter. And then finally, there's gonna be a large urn up in top here, and another section of urn, little custom cut garden feature that's going to be part of this area right here. We're traveling for this project in San Diego, and we've got quite a team with us. We've got Brian Helfrich, Chris Hanson from Team Aquascape, got Ralph Biezad from Pondscapes AZ, Bill Gaunt is here from Pond Man out in California, and we've also got some teammates from Aquascape, Udi and Micho.
So part 2, huh? Even though part 1 was supposed to be the waterfall, and we had this big elaborate reason and justification on why we wanted to do the waterfall first, but instead we did the entire pond first. And so now is actually what I guess you would call, or I would call, our signature on every pond, right? The way we're going to build these waterfalls. We've kind of changed some things around in here. I love what's happening. Homeowners talking about doing a deck over in this area. I love the element of wood brought in, but in order for that to happen, all of this dirt's got to come out of here. So you're going to jump on that machine sooner than later and start pulling all of that stuff out. That'll help us establish a grade and an elevation to work off of, so then we can get an upper pool by the height of that patio or deck. Then we'll start working on our waterfall. If you can kind of see where that bucket's at, that's loosely the idea of where the waterfall is going to start. And I say loosely because every time we've talked about something being somewhere, we've changed it. I'm guessing we're going to need a whole nother truckload of boulders just to do retaining wall stuff up and through there.
What they really want to know is that we're going to have this finished this episode.
You think it could be a part 3?
I hope not, because I don't want to fly back out here. This is it. It's going to be running this episode. Time to get started. Oh yeah, those are gonna work. Those will work. Yep, that'll do it. These are perfect. This is exactly what we need to make this waterfall happen. No more excuses. Time to sling them and bring them. We've got quite a few of our frame rocks and waterfall spillways set. We're almost at the top of the waterfall. What we're doing along the way is we're actually pulling back liner and fabric, doing some backfilling with some good clean material because the stuff that's here is just so rocky, it's impossible to use behind our liner. Our waterfall is taking shape and it's looking fantastic. Here you got a frame rock coming in. There's gonna be water spilling off of here into a small pooling area. Then off to the left, this is gonna be pooling here. When the future deck goes in, it's gonna cantilever over. So you'll be right over that water with the waterfall facing this entire seating area. From there, it comes into our pond. Up top here, we've got a really cool rock, and our tolerance is set really low. So we're gonna rely on this side of the rock to keep the water from going over. We just want water coming off of this side. We're probably gonna get it to try and bounce off and shoot back in over here as well. That's gonna be a really cool effect. From there, we're gonna look to go right up at the top here. This is where we're gonna start our waterfall. It's gonna spill out this way, again, pooling, and then working its way down the rest of the Cascades. So it's about lunchtime right now, and when we discussed it this morning, we were hoping the waterfall would be mostly done.
It's actually the first time we had a plan, and it worked.
It actually
right?
worked.
Like the very
That's
first
amazing.
day. So day 6, we started figuring out how to do this.
We got a couple days left. We can still screw things up.
Now that we've done this and you've prepped this area, there's no more access over there.
That's it. We're gonna take and slope this down to all these walls and boulders, and we want to incorporate lots of planting here, right?
Yes. Yeah, I'd love to see a lot of height back in here, so you're just not paying attention to what's back over in there.
And that's what's gonna give you that whole intimate feel in the backyard.
It's funny, I don't know if you guys can see this, but the guys have already started stealing just some ground covers and stuff from over there. Even that little pop of green over there starts making it come to life.
So now the next thing is we're starting this constructed wetland. If you guys want to see more detail on a wetland filter, check out this video here that I did with Ed Ballou. He's the one who actually invented the constructed wetland filter, right?
He's known as Mr. Wetland.
Mr. Wetland. So if you want to see what that's all about, check out that video. We're going to build this one here, which is going to be filtering this pond. We'll show you all that. Then once we get out of there, we can finally get back down to ground level and get ourselves out of here.
We knew this was going to happen too. We get this done. We finished all of our work over there. So now we have no more machine work there. We've prepped this area for the wall. Now you're going to do that. But look at how tight our space is getting over here.
We ran out of room real fast. There's not much room left here to work here. Once we work all this out, we're going to generate a lot more dirt here. There's going to be another wall that goes here to hold the whole wetland up. Then we can dig out for where our intake is, and that's going to be it as far as like the machine work goes. Then it's going to be tidying this place up. So I'm excited. We'll get the wetland going. Stick with us. Well underway, a lot of racket over there. We've got most of the first layer of our gravel in the wetland. The main waterfall is finished, so we've knocked 2 things off of our checklist today. End of day 6. Tomorrow we have to get some more loads of gravel so we can finish the wetland. We're gonna be setting boulders inside of that, and then we have to do a seam where the wetland liner meets our waterfall liner. So that stuff will happen tomorrow. Everybody kicked some butt today. Well-deserved rest is on the way. See you tomorrow. Good morning. We got Brian Helfrich over here who's going to be doing our seam this morning.
So we're kind of at a tricky area here. This is our pond liner right here, and then this is the bog liner here. A lot of times what you can do is just overlap them like this, and here we could actually do that, but the idea of digging out all of this stuff again, especially with the incredibly hard digging conditions, just doesn't make sense. So the other option is to seam these liners together. And seaming is actually not very hard, it's just extremely time consuming. The key to seaming is all in the prep work. Right now, I've gotten this, our bog liner, nice and flat. So as long as I can get it flat and straight, then I can match this liner up to it a whole lot easier. This one's gonna be a little trickier though because it's all got bunched up. The seam tape is never gonna find all of these folds all over the place. So I'm gonna spend a little extra time getting this all prepped up. I'll get a board underneath here and then I'll start seaming.
While Brian does that, Chris and I are going to work on the constructive wetland filter. Here we have a large stacked slate urn, at least part of a large stacked slate urn. We've got another piece I'll show you in a second. We're going to be doing some rock work to kind of make this integrate into the rest of our feature. So we've got a large boulder back there. We're going to tie that into the back of the urn here, and we'll come around hiding our snorkel vault lid in the process, and then we'll backfill to the grade behind it. That's going to be a nice like sunken in look for this urn piece. Now this is getting exciting. We've got the wetland pretty much buttoned up. So some hand manageable stuff that has to be done in here, like cobbles, some raking, get the plumbing just dragged down to where the intake is going to be. Udi and Micho are working on doing that retaining wall in between those two large boulders. Chris is doing some edge work over here. This is close to being buttoned up. Now we can focus on our last piece, which is our intake. Now the intake is where all the debris that falls in the pond is going to be skimmed to. We've got jets, waterfalls, pushing all that debris while the pumps are pulling it across the top of the water. What we're going to do is we're going to build a weir inside the pond. That's going to make the water shallow, probably about 6 or 8 inches. When it gets shallow, it's going to want to draw from the top, and it's going to do that whole skimming action like you would see in a swimming pool. We've got 2 pump vaults going in. There's 5 aqua blocks, and then we'll do some rock work to naturalize the whole thing. It will end up looking like an extension of the pond with a bridge that will cross over to the other side. One of our biggest challenges has been moving material, and that's where Ralph is doing a great job.
As you're piling up the dirt from the spoils on the other side of the pond, I'm backing out of here. So the challenge is this house is really close and the pond is really close.
Wait, Ralph. Let's show him what you did.
Well, I didn't do anything.
show him what you did, Ralph. Come on.
Now, there is no way to prove that I did this
You definitely did that.
other than that orange paint.
Yeah.
And the back of my machine is orange. But on the bright side, there is no damage done to the machine.
All right, show me what you're doing here.
We must have gone through here 100 times. This is what's really exciting when we get out to the front. So I don't know if the customer has a 4-wheel drive, but this is Jeep dirt right here.
The staging and the material handling has been one of the biggest challenges here, just because of the tight proximity to the house, and there's not a lot of room to store things. But we're getting it done. Right, buddy? Let's finish this thing.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh. There's water. I hear a waterfall. Ah! Look at this! Well, oh my gosh.
It's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
Okay, we are officially on vacation right now. This is official.
So this whole thing started, we had a pond before, we had a concrete pond, and it definitely needed some help. It was cracking, it was falling apart, and it was time to do something else. I hit YouTube, look for some ideas, thought maybe I would do a pondless waterfall, just a waterfall, and I mentioned that to her, to Melody, and she's like, nope, I want a pond, I want fish. Started coming across Aquascape videos. Came across Team Aquascape, Brian's videos, came across Jack's videos for Atlantis Water Gardens, and I really, really liked the style. I liked everything about it, and it just really spoke to me.
That's, I think, when the reality set in that this is something we want to do. I think we want to commit to something like this. And what we wanted was natural. Like you're on a hike, right, and you come across falls. We like to, over the summer, we do like road trips, Yosemite, Zion, and you see those falls, and that's nature. And so we didn't want something that looked like it was choreographed to look like a pond, not looking natural. So the big criteria would be a natural looking waterfall.
What they came up with is nothing short of spectacular. It's exactly what we wanted. This is a vacation at home. The way that the pond is shaped, that you wanted it surrounded by water.
Surrounded by water. And the process, visiting our yard in person, when Brian and Jack came out and had some preliminary ideas, did some sketches, and we looked at those sketches, and then when it came reality to actually starting to dig, then it evolved. That's where the creativity set in.
To think the proposal was 8 to 10 days, I thought that's insane. Especially we're bumping up into the holidays and they're kind of having a tight schedule there. In 8 days, they knocked out this unbelievable showcase pond. It's absolutely amazing, extremely impressive. The relationship of how they work together, like, they've been friends forever. Brian and Jack aren't 20 anymore, but they're still clearly having fun at what they're doing. All of them, the banter, Ralph and Chris and Jack, so much fun. The banter and the conversation and the creativity is going the whole time. I mean, the whole process was amazing, just excellent.
I did not imagine this oasis in our backyard because I just never thought that we could have something like that, and we do. It's far exceeded even my high expectations. I could not imagine something like this. I mean, this has been absolutely incredible, and I have to speak to the team for their passion, because this is living the dream right here, and it really is. It's living the dream.
So much to process, right? 8 days, number one.
Over 60 tons of boulders, over 15 tons of gravel, 120 face feet of stone, paver wall stuff. I think 4 semi-loads of soil removed.
It might have been 6 because there was 2 gone this morning.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just goes on and on, all in 8 days. I mean, to take 60 tons of boulders and do that with it, in 8 days.
It was a conveyor belt from front to backyard every single day for 8 days of just material leaving and material coming in to create this. I'm blown away by it. I'm so blown away by it, and that is a testament to the people that we got here on site to make all this come together.
And everybody just was like, yes, we can do this, right? So many times back home we have obstacles, right, that we have to face. The biggest obstacles out here, we were like, so we still only have 8 days, like, let's go.
But that's bringing the experience to the job site. So when you hit rock, when you can't get the material you want on time, when the machine is the wrong size, you change gears and you just make it happen. And that's what was so impressive about this team. Matter of fact, why don't we bring them in here? The number one thing for me to do these projects, because we have plenty of work at home during the season. If I'm gonna work in the wintertime when I'm off, I wanna have fun, number one, and I think we all did that. Yeah. These are my friends, first and foremost. Never mind the amount of talent that is right here in these 4 people. I get to hang out with my friends for 2 weeks and build something that you can't fathom when we get started. Like, we had our doubts.
Yeah, the first day when we were like, we gotta dig the hole, and then we started digging the hole, and it was solid granite. We instantly said, we're not finishing on Friday. Maybe it'll be Saturday.
My favorite part of this entire project, well, there's 2 things. One was getting to work with my friends. I can't be more blessed to do something that I love and be able to do it with people that I enjoy doing life with. Second, the customer. Seeing the look on their face when we turn the lights on or fired up the waterfalls, that look of pure excitement and joy and amazement just makes me feel so validated, knowing that I was a part of a team that created something that looks incredible, only second to Mother Nature. So I would say those are the things that I'm going to take away from this trip, and I just love it. Yeah, we did okay. We did okay.
The great thing for me on this trip was the experience with my friends, doing something I love to do, and the fun that we have in all of this chaos. I mean, all of this was on the driveway or in the street 9 days ago, and now look at this. So to be able to do this, what we love to do with the people we love to do it with, I couldn't ask for anything better. And like what Chris said, that customer experience, to see the look on our customers' faces when we turn something on. Just a second. Hi, I'll call you back. All right, go ahead.
You lost the moment, kid. So we could not have had a better experience on this whole project. For me, the best part, and I know Andrew mentioned it, was when the lights came on and everybody genuinely was like, oh! Whoa.
Yeah.
That is awesome. You guys have to tell us what you think down in the comments. Is this awesome? I don't know how you could disagree with me. It's impossible. Hit the subscribe button. Come on back. See me and my friends build awesome projects all around the world at this point, right?
Right.
That's what we're doing. And we'll see you guys on the next one.